As an Alabama fan, I can honestly say last night it wasn't all too bad, and I wasn't that upset about it considering I expected to lose and I predicted Georgia to win. I think that helped it. However, today it was a different story. When I woke up and all throughout the day, it really started to sit in with me that we lost the championship, and it's not a great feeling. Even if I did expect Georgia to win the game, it's never a good feeling watching your team make it as far as they do and make it to the last and final game and lose it. I will say, I'm sure some of my other Bama fans can vouch for me, this wasn't the worst loss we've had in the championship. The other ones against Clemson, they hurt a little more, and I think a main reason for that is because Clemson, they're not in the SEC. At least if we're going to lose, you might as well keep it in the same conference. I'm not a Georgia fan by any means, but I'm not really all too upset. They're the team that beat us, and I'm almost kind of happy for them. They have a great story. Kirby Smart, as most of us should know, he worked under Nick Saban, and if somebody's going to take it and win the championship, it couldn't have gone to any better team and any better coach. One thing I felt with this Georgia team, and the reason I really picked them to win the game, I just felt like everything was adding up, and it was almost like destiny was bound to happen for Stetson Bennett in this program. I know I can't be the only one who felt that way. Everything was adding up for this to be the year Georgia finally gets over the hump and wins the championship. Whenever you think of a typical and normal Alabama football fan, and I can say there's a lot of fans like this, most of them are very naive and most of them are insanely crazy. Over my years, I have seen grown men smash TVs, and I've seen many others turn into rage monsters during the games. Some people would think that's crazy, and I do think it's a little too far, but I live in the Southeast, and if you're from the Southeast, you know college football, it really means a lot to the fans. College football isn't something you pay attention to one day a week. For a lot of people, it's an entire lifestyle. And that right there is what makes it so special. Of course, the players and the coaches, they make it happen, but the teams are nothing without their fans. With that being said, if you are one of those said people who rages all throughout the game and you scream at your TV, I don't have a problem with it. That's just not me. I know how to control myself and control my anger. Some of you may think I'm one of those that screams at the TV based off of my videos, but I think a lot of you to be shocked. I barely say 1 to 2 words from the first quarter until the end, and it doesn't matter if it's a blowout or a close game. I don't have that much to say, and I try to have the same approach Nick Saban does. I try to stay calm, cool, and collected, no matter if we're blowing out a team or if it is a close game. Here's my biggest thing on that, and we'll get into the main topic of this video. I've never understood how a grown man who's out of shape in his mid-40s could get mad and yell at teams and the players who were doing something he couldn't dream of doing. It just doesn't sit right with me, and it's so strange. Even when you go to the football games, you got guys who weigh 350 pounds and eat cheesy puffs on the couch screaming and ridiculing and criticizing these young men who are doing their best. That's just not me, and if you're one of those fans, I'm not going to say I don't like you, but I don't like you. I'll give you a brief example. One of the newer guys on Alabama's defense, Kyrie Jackson, he had to step in and play big time minutes because Josh Jobe was out with an injury. I'm sure he'd tell you himself he didn't have a great game, and he had 1 to 2 plays where things didn't go his way and he busted a coverage and got burned on defense. Okay, he didn't even bust a coverage, he just got burnt, and I'm just going to leave it at that. After the game, he was getting a lot of backlash on Twitter, and I even saw people at the game, they were yelling at him and calling him names and this and that. And Kyrie Jackson didn't take too light to it. He tweeted out, 2 plays don't define me. Just gotta be better. Keep that same energy next season, please, quote-unquote fans. I know what some of you are about to say, oh, that's Alabama fans for you, and no, it's not. That's how Alabama fans are, Georgia's fans, Clemson's fans, Ohio State. That's how every single college football fan is. Or not fans, my bad. It's how some of the fan base is. It's not a great representative of the entire fan base, but there is a small portion that does backstab their own players, and I'm just going to call it how I see it. Whenever things are going great for a program, like for Alabama going into the game, the fans are going to love it. But when they lose, they're going to say, oh, well, this player, if he wouldn't have done this and that, he's terrible, he shouldn't have been playing, and you get the point. It's the same thing with Georgia. A few weeks ago, Stetson Bennett was getting ridiculed and criticized, so you could go any way about it. I can name off 400 different examples. Look at Spencer Rattler in Oklahoma. I just wanted to say that it's so embarrassing embarrassing, and it's so sad how you can have 40-year-old grown men eating cheesy puffs ridiculing these young men who's doing their best. Here's my biggest argument and takeaway. If you can't go out there and do what they're doing, you have no room to talk. If you want to know what's my biggest pet peeve and something that really bothers me, that's what does. Am I saying if you're around the age 25 to 30 and you look like you're in shape and look like you could play football, that justifies you calling out players? No, I'm not. But at least I probably could look at you and say, you know, maybe he could possibly back it up. It just drives me insane when you can clearly see someone has never played a sport in their life and they got the audacity to call out their own players. Like, really think about this. Imagine being a fan of a team and disrespecting your own team. If you're an Alabama fan, I don't think it's okay to disrespect Georgia, but if you're going to disrespect anybody, at least do it to the other team. I could rant and rave about that topic for hours. Let's get a move on and talk about your boy Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett is really the talk of the town. I mean, he is the quarterback that won the championship, and we all know the quarterback, whenever the team wins, he's going to get the praise, and whenever they lose, he's going to be the most criticized. And that's been the remedy for old Bennett. I'm just going to be blunt and transparent. Stetson Bennett sent me a message last night. All throughout the year, I've labeled and I've called him a mediocre quarterback that can make some good throws here and there, and at times he can be great when he needs to be. I also understand and recognize I've seen it where some of you are wanting me to apologize to Stetson Bennett, and you're trying to say I was wrong about him. I've had some of you at me and say, yo, Matt, you said Stetson Bennett couldn't beat Alabama. What happened? He just did. And no, I never said that. Like I said in the video we made last night, I predicted Georgia to win this game, so technically I was right about Bennett. The only thing I said about Bennett is that he wouldn't beat Alabama in the SEC championship, and if anything, he's going to cost him more games than he wins them, and I believe I'm right about that. I'm not a big numbers guy. I don't think they tell you the story completely, but let's just take a look at him. Bennett was 17 for 26, had 225, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions with a 71 QBR. If you would have told me the day before and showed me those numbers and said this is what he's going to do against Alabama, I'd have said, yeah, I'd probably pick Georgia to win. On the other hand, for Bryce Young, he was 35 for 57, had 370, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, and those interceptions are kind of deceiving. One of them he threw up, which was basically a punt, and the other one was late in the game, and he was trying to make something happen. His QBR, on the other hand, was way better than Bennett's. He had an 82.3, and I hate to be that guy, it's no excuse, but we do got to throw in there, it's a major and key factor. He didn't have 2 of his best wide receivers. He was really out there playing with the practice squad players in the national championship against the best defense in the country. If you had to ask me who played better last night, Stetson Bennett or Bryce Young, I think Bryce Young outperformed him, and it's not even close. Whoa, Matt, are you serious? How could you say Bryce Young outperformed him? He had 2 interceptions. Chill, relax, I understand that, but the interceptions weren't pick sixes, and they didn't really cost Alabama the game. If you want me to break it down, I'll go even farther. Jahlil Billingsley, his first interception, he shouldn't even been in the game. That was supposed to be Jamison Williams, and he was getting bullied by the defense, and he couldn't get separation. Therefore, the defense had an easy pick. If you want to say that's on Bryce, it is what it is, but that was a 50-yard pass, and I just saw it as a punt, and it didn't hurt Alabama. The other interception, it was 3rd and 10. There was a minute or 2 left, and everybody knew at that point Alabama wasn't going to come back without any help for Bryce Young. Bryce Young did more with less. He didn't get any help from his receivers. They were dropping passes left and right, and he got no help from the running backs, but that's been the case the entire year, and that's why he won the Heisman. Stetson Bennett only attempted 26 passes. Have you noticed in the other 2 matchups when he was attempting 40 to 50 passes like Bryce Young, that's what cost him the game? Because Bennett didn't win Georgia this game. If you think he did, you just simply didn't watch the game and you know nothing about college football. Here's what really happened. Stetson Bennett managed the game, and in the 4th quarter, when Georgia needed some big-time plays, he showed up and he made those big-time plays. And I'm going to give him his credit. Stetson Bennett made some big and some huge big-time plays in the 4th quarter, and I got to clap it up and give him my respect. He showed up in the fourth quarter and when Georgia needed him most. But whoa, hold on. Let's not forget, he also cost him a touchdown when he had that crazy fumble. If you want to take an even deeper look into it, why did Bennett do good in the third and fourth quarter? Alabama's defense was completely gassed out because of the Georgia running game. What did I say going into the game? Stetson Bennett is great when he's in play action and rolling out of the pocket. How does he get into those play action scenarios? When the running backs are helping him out. Zeus had 13 carries for 84 yards, phenomenal, average over 6 yards a carry, and James Cook had 6 carries for 77 yards, averaging over 12 a carry. On the flip side for Alabama's running backs, they averaged 3 yards a carry and 2.5 yards a carry. Did Stetson Bennett play good? I don't know if I'd call it good, but it's borderline. I think it's above average. If you want to call it good, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I just don't like the narrative of, I've seen it everywhere, that people are trying to act like he was leading Georgia on drives and he threw 40 to 50 passes and he's the sole reason they won the game. That's just not what happened. Whenever Bennett was having all of his pregame interviews, he acknowledged it that some of his own fans and everyone around the country was doubting him and hating on him. He didn't just send me a message last night in the fourth quarter, he sent everyone in the country a message. He said, hold on, y'all know what? I've been playing bad, I've made some mistakes here and there. We're down 18-13. My team needs me to go down the field and make some big time throws, and I'm going to deliver like the mailman does. Stetson Bennett, do I think you're a good quarterback? Absolutely not. You're still mediocre, my boy. But guess what? You got my respect because you did something a lot of people fail to do. In the biggest moment, in the biggest game of your life, you rose to the occasion and you didn't fold under pressure like you have done in the previous games. Kirby Smart has a quote I absolutely love. I think I'm going to get it framed up in my house and I'm going to start saying it. He tells his players, you're either elite or you're not. And that's what happened last night with Stetson Bennett. Is he elite? I don't know, but he definitely proved that he wasn't not elite, if that makes sense. In the last 2 to 3 drives, Stetson Bennett, he was elite, and that's all that mattered. When Georgia needed him to come through, he came through. The mailman came through, and he delivered. And as an Alabama fan, I'm not even all too upset even today. Because here's why, guys. I feel like the best team last night, they won the football game. If Alabama would have been the best team by far and they lost on some crazy Hail Mary, oh yeah, I'd be pissed. But that didn't happen. When the better team wins in a football game and it was clear to see Georgia was the better team, especially in the second half, you can't be too mad. Last but not least, before I end off this video, I still see people saying, Alabama fans saying, oh, if we had Jamison Williams, it would have been a different story. I do agree. I think it would have been a different story, but I just don't like that excuse. Quit saying that and take your L. As bad as injuries are, I hate them. I wish they didn't exist. They're a part of the game, and Georgia's star wide receiver George Pickens has been dealing with injuries the entire year. The better team won the game. If you're an Alabama fan and you're still upset about it and complaining and talking crap, quit doing that. You look stupid. Hold your L. That's pretty much all I gotta say about this video. Let me know your thoughts down below. Also, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, do all the nice stuff. And as always, let's be great. I'm out, y'all. Peace.